You wake up before sunrise. The air is cold enough to make every breath sting. There is no alarm clock, no roof humming with electricity, no coffee waiting in the kitchen. Instead, the first sound you hear is the distant call of birds and the quiet crackle of a dying fire that survived the night. For almost all of human history, this was what waking up felt like. Your ancestors opened their eyes to uncertainty, not convenience. Every single morning began with one question: would everyone still be alive by sunset? It is tempting to imagine that surviving in nature would be easy with modern knowledge. Television shows, camping trips, and survival videos make it seem like determination is enough. But if you were suddenly dropped into the world of hunter-gatherers, you probably would not survive a single week. Not because you are weak, because your entire body and brain have been shaped by a completely different world. Think about the last time you felt hungry. Maybe lunch was delayed for a few hours. It probably felt uncomfortable. Now imagine not knowing when the next meal will come. Could you stay calm? Could you keep walking for another 10 miles while making life or death decisions? Hunter-gatherers rarely had guaranteed food. Anthropologist Richard Lee, who spent years studying the Juhwanzi people of southern Africa, found that successful hunting often depended on patience, cooperation, and luck rather than strength alone. A single hunt could fail several days in a row. Yet the group continued moving because stopping meant starving. Your body today expects predictable calories. Your ancestors expected uncertainty. That difference changes everything. Before breakfast, someone must inspect the fire. Fire is not simply warmth, it is protection against predators, a way to cook food, a source of light, and a social gathering point. Losing it can become a disaster. Long before matches existed, creating a new fire could require hours of exhausting work. Some groups carried glowing embers from camp to camp because preserving fire was easier than starting it again. Would you even know which wood burns slowly, which bark catches sparks, which plants produce dangerous smoke? Simple knowledge becomes survival, then comes water. Modern humans rarely think about drinking safely. You turn a faucet and clean water appears. Your ancestors had no such luxury. Every stream carried invisible dangers. Animal waste, parasites, bacteria, and seasonal drought could turn an ordinary drink into a deadly mistake. Archaeological evidence suggests that ancient camps were often chosen near reliable freshwater sources, but those locations also attracted dangerous animals. Lions, crocodiles, bears, and other predators understood exactly what humans understood. Water meant life. Would you approach quietly, constantly scanning the trees, or would you walk confidently toward the river, unaware that something else has been watching you first? Your brain has forgotten how to expect danger every minute. Even walking is harder than you imagine. Modern sidewalks are flat. Ancient landscapes were not. Sharp stones cut bare feet. Hidden roots twisted ankles. Thorn bushes tore skin. Every injury mattered because infection could become fatal without antibiotics. Researchers studying prehistoric skeletons have found evidence of healed fractures, showing that injured individuals often survived because others cared for them. That simple discovery reveals something remarkable. Hunter-gatherers did not survive because everyone was strong. They survived because they helped each other. Would your community carry you if you could no longer walk? Would you carry someone else? James Sussman, another anthropologist who studied hunter-gatherer societies, argues that cooperation, not constant violence, was one of humanity's greatest survival adaptations. Popular culture often imagines prehistoric life as endless fighting. Archaeology tells a more complicated story. Sharing food, caring for children, and protecting injured group members may have been just as important as hunting itself. That raises another question. How well do you cooperate when everyone is exhausted, hungry, and frightened? The hunt begins. Forget dramatic movie scenes where someone throws a spear once and instantly kills a giant animal. Real hunting demanded extraordinary endurance. Some groups practiced persistence hunting, where hunters slowly chased animals over many hours until the animal overheated from exhaustion. humans possess an unusual ability among mammals: sweating. Sweating cools your body while running. Many animals cool themselves by panting, which becomes less effective during long chases. This biological advantage allowed ancient humans to outlast prey under certain conditions. But persistence hunting required incredible fitness. Could you jog slowly for 6 hours under the hot sun? Could you track tiny footprints across dry ground? Could you notice a broken blade of grass and understand what passed by 2 hours earlier? Expert trackers read landscapes the way modern people read text messages. Every footprint tells a story. Every broken branch becomes information. Every feather, scent, and disturbed insect matters. Researchers like Louis Liebenberg have documented how skilled trackers identify age, direction, speed, and even behavior from subtle environmental clues that most people never notice. Your ancestors lived inside nature. Modern humans mostly observe it through windows. Finally, the hunters reach their prey. Success is never guaranteed. Even wounded animals remain dangerous. A frightened antelope can break bones with one kick. Wild boars slash with tusks. Large deer fight desperately. A single mistake can end a life. Suppose the hunt succeeds. The work has only begun. Now hundreds of pounds of meat must be butchered before scavengers arrive. Hyenas, vultures, wolves, and countless insects are already moving toward the smell of blood. How fast could you cut through thick hide using sharpened stone instead of steel? Stone tools appear primitive until you actually need them. Archaeological sites like Olduvai Gorge preserve evidence of stone tool use stretching back millions of years. These tools allowed early humans to process meat, crack bones for nutritious marrow, scrape hides, shape wood, and prepare plant foods. They were not crude by prehistoric standards. They represented advanced technology. Technology has always existed, only the materials have changed. Back at camp, food is shared. This surprises many people. Among numerous hunter-gatherer societies, successful hunters often distributed meat widely instead of keeping everything themselves. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner documented extensive sharing networks among the Juhuansi, where generosity strengthened long-term relationships. Today's giver might become tomorrow's receiver after an unsuccessful hunt. Sharing was not charity. It was insurance against bad luck. Could you willingly hand away most of the food you spent all day obtaining? Or would your modern instinct to protect personal property create conflict inside the group? As evening approaches, another challenge begins. Darkness. Modern cities erase the night. Artificial lights make people forget how powerful darkness truly is. Without electricity, every shadow moves, every unfamiliar sound demands attention. A snapping branch might be harmless, or it might not. Studies of sleep among contemporary hunter-gatherer groups suggest that people rarely slept all at once. Different individuals naturally stayed awake at different times during the night, creating what researchers call a kind of natural night watch without formal planning. Someone was almost always awake to tend the fire or notice danger. Your ancestors did not need security cameras, they had each other. Imagine lying beside the fire, hearing distant howls echo across the landscape. Would you sleep peacefully? Or would every sound keep you awake? The strange truth is that your brain still carries pieces of that ancient world. Sudden noises grab your attention. Darkness makes many people uneasy. Faces are easier to remember than random objects. Your mind constantly searches for threats because countless generations survived by noticing danger before it was too late. Even your love of storytelling may come from those fireside nights, when knowledge passed from one generation to the next without books or screens. Which berries are poisonous? Which valley floods during heavy rain? Which stars guide the journey home? Stories were survival tools. Tomorrow, the search for food begins again. There are no weekends, no retirement, no grocery stores. Every sunrise resets the challenge. Ironically, despite this constant uncertainty, many anthropologists argue that hunter-gatherers often worked fewer hours than people imagine. Richard Lee famously estimated that food gathering itself occupied far less time than a modern full-time job in some environments. The rest of the day could include repairing tools, teaching children, socializing, making art, singing, dancing, or simply resting. Survival was difficult, but it was not endless misery. That discovery forces an uncomfortable question. Have modern humans become busier while feeling less connected? Archaeological discoveries at places like Blombos Cave in South Africa reveal engraved pieces of ochre dating back tens of thousands of years, suggesting symbolic thinking and artistic expression long before cities existed. Chauvet Cave in France contains breathtaking animal paintings that demonstrate astonishing creativity during the Ice Age. Your ancestors were not merely surviving, they were imagining, creating, teaching, dreaming. That may be the greatest misconception of all. When people picture prehistoric humans, they often imagine beings who were barely different from animals, yet genetically, anatomically, and emotionally, those people were remarkably similar to you. They loved their children, they mourned their dead, they laughed with friends, they feared storms, they admired beauty. The biggest difference was not intelligence, it was environment. Every skill that kept them alive had been practiced since childhood. Every plant had a name, every season carried meaning, every trail held memories stretching across generations. Drop a modern office worker into that world and expensive education suddenly becomes almost useless. Nobody cares whether you can answer emails. Nobody cares whether you understand spreadsheets. Nature asks only one question: can you adapt? Most people believe survival depends on courage. In reality, survival depends on thousands of tiny habits learned over a lifetime. Reading weather, recognizing edible plants, hearing distant animal calls, judging strangers, making tools, building trust, conserving energy, accepting uncertainty. Those habits cannot be downloaded overnight. They must be lived. So would you survive a single week as a hunter-gatherer? Probably not. Not because your ancestors were superhuman, but because they spent their entire lives mastering a world that modern civilization has almost completely hidden from view. The next time you wake before sunrise and hear nothing more threatening than the buzz of your phone, remember this: for nearly all of human history, your ancestors opened their eyes to a world where every single day tested every skill they possessed. And somehow, against impossible odds, they survived long enough for you to be here today.